We all know that everybody hates doing follow-ups, and even if someone does follow-ups, it's probably with the top 10% of their leads, which are the hottest leads, but that means that they lose out on 90% of their leads because they're being untouched, even though you either paid for those leads or put time and hard work into getting those leads. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can automate this process and make sure that you reach out to every single person that you have in your contact list, in your CRM, in your pipeline. Because imagine this: you reach out to 10% of your contacts by follow-ups. You leave 90% untouched. Maybe they are unqualified. Maybe you disqualified all of them. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be unqualified and disqualified for the rest of your life. It might mean that they just don't have the money yet. What about in a month? What about they change their offer? They change the business. Like, anything can happen with time. So that means that you need to make sure that you reach out to those people and you build a follow-up sequence to get back to these people. Now, I also know that you shouldn't put all your time and effort into doing this manually. So that's why automating this process and making sure that every single person that you reach out to doesn't just get like a random basic email that everybody else is getting, but you need to make sure that you send an email personalized and specifically made for that lead, for that contact, so that it resonates with them. That's the most common issue with following up that I see every single time with business owners, is that they send the follow-ups, but it's the same for every single person. It's same for people who don't have money. It's same for people who gave you an objection. And it's also same for the people that wasn't just a good fit for the offer. So in this video, and this is an example on the screen that I'm going to show you now, we built this for one of our clients. We're gonna build a lead scoring system. I'm gonna show you how to build a lead scoring system that's gonna score every single lead based on data, and based on that data, send a specific follow-up message so that it resonates with that person every single time. Now, there's a few different options here. For this person, we have 3 categories or 3 tiers. The first is disqualified people. The second is people that didn't close. And the third one is no-shows. But even in these tiers, you can't just make 3 emails for each tier, because within each tier, there are multiple categories. Why are they disqualified? Didn't have enough money. Why are they disqualified again? Not a good fit. So again, even under tiers, there are different categories that you need to make different email sequences for. Same thing, didn't close. Why didn't he close? Budget objection. Or sorry, just a money objection. A different objection. He wants to buy later. Again, that's 3-4 different emails that you need to send them, because if you send the same email, it might resonate with 1 or 2 people, but the rest is not going to resonate with the email, so it was unnecessary to send it in the first place. Again, no-shows. Which part did he no-show? Discovery call, demo call, the onboarding call. I don't care what it is. What did he no-show? Because it matters. Because the more touch points, the more personal touch you can put into these emails, the better it's going to convert. Let me show you how you can build a system like this to make sure that every single lead is being followed up on, so you maximize revenue and you maximize time efficiency as well. I don't want you to sit there in front of your computer for 8 hours per day and just spam follow-ups to every single lead that you have. So step 1, we need to build Claude agents. For this project, we're going to use Claude, Go High Level, N8N, and the other tools that you use to gather leads and gather data. Now, in this video, I'm just going to show you Claude, N8N, and Go High Level, and any other form softwares that we use. I'm not going to build the actual system right now because this video would be 3 hours long, but in a future video, I'll definitely build it live so you can see how this whole thing looks like. But the biggest thing is the structure. How do you structure something like this? The first step is the Claude agents. We're going to use Claude Code to build the agents to do the work for us. All the manual work that takes a lot of time, Claude is going to handle for us. We're going to need 3 agents. A data analysis agent, which is going to research every single available data on the prospect, okay? Meaning how much money they make, your call recordings, your lead forms, everything, your notes, everything on that client. This agent is going to research, so we know everything about that specific person, so we can build a personalized message based on that data. Second, the lead scoring agent. Based on that research, it's going to score the lead and put them in a tier and a category, so we know exactly where the prospect stands. Where did he stop at the process? Maybe he stopped at the demo call. Maybe he gave an objection. Maybe he didn't have the money. Maybe he was disqualified on the actual form, so he didn't even end up booking in a call. There's a lot of different situations that you can involve in a process like this. And then the third one is the actual email writer agent. Of course, this agent is going to write the actual emails together. So here's the actual pipeline. The example is going to be John, who has a marketing agency, makes $50K a month. He filled out a lead form. He booked in a discovery call and the sales call as well. So you have all the transcripts, all the call recordings, and he didn't close because his objection was that maybe he wants to buy in 2 months. That's our client. So the first thing, the data analysis agent. The first thing that we're going to look at is the lead form, because he filled out the lead form. How hot was the lead? We need to look at all the questions and all the answers that John gave us based on his situation, because if he was a hot lead, he had the money, he had the pain point, he had the urgency. Why does he not want to buy now? That has to be a fake bullshit objection, right? So then we need to structure our email that way. We can't just send an email like, hey, yeah, let's catch up in 2 months. No, he didn't buy for a reason. Even though he was a hot lead, he had the urgency and he had the problem as well. That's why we need to look at all the lead forms as well. Go high level notes. If you were on the sales call taking personal notes, then we need to look at your notes as well on what you feel like the call was about. The third agent, call recordings, super, super, super important. Each agent, or agent number 3 in this case, is going to look at both of these call recordings for both discovery and the sales call, and it's going to summarize the calls. What happened on the call? What did the prospect say? Was there anything about the prospect that stood out? Like, hey, he said this, but it's bullshit. Like, he had the pain point, but now he says that he doesn't need it now. So like something is not working, right? Next one, web research. This is all fine. Having 3 agents, this is enough. But if you want to go one step above, what we're doing now is doing web research. If you look at the client's company, you look at his LinkedIn profile, his Facebook page, Instagram page, you can get so much data and make it even more personalized. Let's say you look at his LinkedIn profile and you find that a day ago he posted that he was at an event. You can mention that in the follow-up email, so it doesn't look like a random email out of the blue. You can mention it. You can get in a closer touch with the prospect. So the web research is a very, very good touch, and you can set it up very, very easily having a Claude agent. And the 5th agent is going to be the lead research summary. The 5th agent is going to summarize all these four agents, the outcome of these agents, and it's going to summarize it in a nice document so we know everything about that person. Next step is the actual lead scoring agent. You need to have 3 tiers at least. You can do more, you can do less. I think 3 tiers is perfectly enough. And for every single person, even for you, it's going to be different. These 3 tiers, you need to look at your sales calls, you need to look at your data, and you need to find the most common things why people don't buy. Are they disqualified? They didn't close, but they were on the actual call. They no-showed you, or none of your leads have the money. There's going to be 3 common tiers that you see across your business that you can make this automation about. Of course, don't make it about random things that happen once every 3 months. Make it about the 3 biggest tiers or 3 biggest reasons why someone doesn't close or someone doesn't go through a pipeline within your own business. In this example, I'm just going to go for disqualified, didn't close, and no-show. Now, you need to ask yourself the question, why? Why is he disqualified? Why didn't he close? Why was he a no-show? And you need to write down a bunch of scenarios as to why that can happen, or why does that happen in your own business. In this scenario, John didn't buy because he wanted to do it in 2 months. So we're going to go with that example, maybe in 2 months. Didn't close. Why? Because he said that maybe in 2 months he's going to close. So then these are all going to be individual emails, but I'm going to get into that in the next step. So then, okay, now we figured out everything. We know each tier, each category. So we can grab John, we can grab the lead research summary, and we can score the lead and give it a pipeline. Okay, research results, he was a hot lead, he didn't close, maybe he wants to close in 2 months. So now we have a lot more personalized approach to send an email to this person. The third one, email writer agent. What it does is it's going to find the email structure for the lead score result. So for every single email here, it's going to have a different email structure that the writer agent can just pull and pull the structure for the email, pull the lead research summary from the prospect, and just smash it together and combine them. And that's how it's going to be personalized. So it's going to find the email structure for the lead score result, pull up the research for the lead, and combine these two and write the actual personalized email for the lead. Because if we know where he stands, if we know the category of why he didn't close, and if we know everything about the prospect, then we can make this message as personalized as humanly possible. That's step number one. We need to build this system. We need to build these cloud agents to make sure that we know everything about the prospect and we have the proper email structure set in place in order for us to be able to send these emails out to our prospects as follow-ups. So now, how do you build these email structures is the question. So the step two is going to be writing the email structures. There's two options here. The first option is that you write each email structure manually. Now, it's going to take a lot of time, I know, but you can do it this way as well if you don't want to do as much AI. This is more of the manual kind of like automation route, or you can do it like option two is by prompting in Claude. Now, of course, with this strategy, every single email is going to look kind of the same with the little personalization touch. With this one, every single email, of course, you need to give it a structure, but every single email is going to be different in a way. Because here what you need to do is, if you have 3 tiers and 5 emails for each tier, then you need to create 15 emails. But then again, you're going to have a lot more emails. So it's going to be like 20, 30 emails that you need to build, especially because we're not just going to send one follow-up. This sequence is going to be a 7-step follow-up sequence. You can't just send one follow-ups. You need to send emails for like 3 months. The first 24 hours, the next 48 hours, the next week, the next 3 weeks, the next 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. You need to make sure that you just send follow-ups every single time. Because if someone doesn't have money now, just to give you an example, if someone doesn't have the money now to buy your services, but he has the money in 4 months, then you need to make sure that you follow up with that person for 4 months. Because then he's going to be a customer that can buy your services. He already has the money for those services. And if you want to do this 6 more times, well, good luck writing 100 different emails. So that's why I like option 2, hyper prompting. Now, how this is possible is in Claude Code. Of course, you need to build the actual agents for this. You need to build different agents for this. But find 5 emails that are converted in the past for you. This is preferred because, of course, you know that it works. And any sort of AI LLM, it works the best if it has clear inputs. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, none of all these AI tools are dumb as fuck. They don't know anything. The only way they can be effective and efficient if they know exactly what good means. Because if you just tell it like, hey, write me a good email, it doesn't know what good means. So you need to teach it, hey, Claude, this is a good email, follow this structure. That's why preferably find 5 emails, follow-up emails that have converted in the past, and give it to Claude because then it has a structure. Or if you don't have that, then just write 5 personalized emails from scratch. Because Claude needs to know what a good email looks like. And then you need to give it a long prompt. Okay, I just have an example here. I want you to write me a follow-up email for this lady understanding the following information. Break down and analyze the lead research summary made for this person, analyze the lead scoring summary. So you need to give it a very long prompt. You don't need to write this manually. You can ask Claude to make a prompt for you, but it needs to be a prompt this big. You cannot just give like a 1-sentence prompt to it. It needs to be very, very detailed. I want the first line to be something like this. I want the second line to be around this psychology. I want you to include in the first line this part of the lead research summary. You need to make sure that this is a very, very detailed prompt. It's going to take you hours to make this prompt and make it very, very good, but it's going to take you less time to make than making 60 emails, because then you can just copy and paste this prompt 6 more times pretty much. So that's what I would recommend, just prompting. Learn how to prompt. And the best part is that you can ask Claude to help you with it. You need to give it a general idea of how you want your follow-ups to be structured and what information you need to use, and use every single information. That's why we have the lead scoring summary, this one, and that's why we also have the lead research summary, because we can use that. We can use that in our advantage to make sure that every single person that looks at our emails, they're like, wow, he didn't copy paste this message. He sent this message with intention. He really wants to work with me, and he covers my pain points. Because if someone gives you a wife objection, someone else gives you a, money objection, you can't send the same email to both of those people, because at least one of them is going to drop out, if not both of them. If the email is shit, none of those people are going to actually reply to you. So that's why you need to make sure that this prompt is good. It's long, detailed. It explains exactly everything about how you want this email to be structured. Okay, do that 6 more times, and then you have the actual follow-up sequence. Now, for the actual automation, like I said, I'm not going to build the actual automation because it would take me 3 hours in this video. So maybe in a future video, I'll build it a little bit faster. But we're going to build everything in N8N. So you need to grab all of these things that we talked about, all the Claude agents, all your notes, go high level, the lead forms, call recordings, databases, and you need to put everything into N8N. Don't overcomplicate the build. Just make a simple pipeline from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Just make a simple pipeline for all of it. Don't make like a super complex N8N that you see on the internet every single time. You don't need that. It's not a big workflow. It's a very simple workflow because these agents are going to do most of the work. So it's not going to be more than like 10 to 15 blocks in N8N. The most important thing though is you need to make it an open loop. Now, what that means is that a closed loop, just to give you an example, it always starts from 0. There's an input for the automation and there's an output for the automation. But every time it starts from 0. So if you make it an open loop, then what that means is an automation starts, it finishes, then the finished output is going to be saved into a database. And anytime the automation starts again, this database is going to be attached to the automation. So it'll read the database every single time, meaning it's going to get smarter. And if your automation gets smarter, then each time you run it, it's going to give you better and better results. Now, what I mean by that is if you implement agents in this automation, in this workflow that analyze the actual output data, like, hey, did they open the email? Did they book in a call from this email? Did they reply to this email? If you integrate these little kind of like filters to your process and it knows exactly, okay, I've sent 100 emails, these 10 booked in a call, okay, the next time I'm going to use those 10 emails because they worked. So as time passes by, these automations are going to be better and better and better because they learn from each other. So that's the whole thing. The biggest thing and the most important part is these 3 Claude agents. If you build these 3 Claude agents successfully, it's going to take you a long time. Like for us, it takes around 1 to 2 weeks to build this whole process. That's why I can't just put everything in this video because it's such a long process. I just wanted to give you the structure and the idea of how you can build something like this. But if I see enough engagement on this video, I'll make a new video where I actually build this live for you guys. But make these 3 agents. Needs to be super, super detailed. Make the prompt, or if you don't want to work with prompts or you just don't know how to use prompts, then just do it manually. But if you follow me on Instagram, I'm going to link my IG in the description. I do a lot of videos, a lot of shorts around how to use Claude the most efficient way. So watch those videos. It's going to help you on how to prompt better. And then this is going to be a lot more easier for you than if you just start from scratch. Make the prompt and then build the automation. I'll make another video because I know that for some of you, it's going to be completely like alien language, what I'm saying right now. So just like, I know that a lot of people just learn visually by seeing everything. So I'll make it, but make the N8N workflow. Don't overcomplicate it. Super simple. Just put the agents inside and make it an open loop. And then have a database where you store all that information that you can feed back into the agents, back into the automation. So each time it runs, it's going to learn with each run and going to get better and better and better and better over time. And if you want to have automations like this in your business, but you just don't want to take the time building it out yourself, then there's a link in the description. You can book in a call with me. I'll give you a free audit on your business to see what kind of automations you could leverage that takes you a lot of time every single day. It leaks money, etc., etc. And if you want to, we can also help you build it up for you. So go do it. Follow me on Instagram and see you guys in the next video.